right here so you can see it. It looks kind of good. These are looking like I realize wood pieces right there. Oh, right there. They're gonna find the juggling and stuff right there. Oh, by the way, this looks really good. She's great. We sounded pretty good. I looked when you started saying, how long have you been looking? Yeah. What's up, Baron? How are you? I'm good. How are you? You good? 10 minutes.
Thanks, welcome to day 3 of Underclass Underclass Series. Let's do the rosters for both of our teams. First, for the visiting team. Infielder, number 7, Derek Blake.
I should start looking as I got older.
Infielder, number 8, Adrian Jimenez.
Like old school.
Infielder, number 11, Shamar McDowell.
That's just the way.
Right-handed pitcher, Daniel Hernandez.
Yeah.
Right-handed pitcher and catcher, Nathan Carrillo. Catcher, number 18, Brett Hughes.
How quickly?
Infielder, outfielder, Dave Brown. Pitcher and outfielder, number 23, Caleb Rogers. Number 33, right-handed pitcher, Wesley Johnson. Right-handed pitcher, Mason Middleton. And number 44, pitcher,
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Beautiful sunny day here in Frisco, Texas, as the New Balance Future Star Series Underclass Elite is about to get underway. Game 3 of this 3-game series. I'm Victor Rojas along with Jeremy Booth. Glad you could join us once again. Jill Painter-Lopez is down on the field, and she's going to get us ready for first pitch. Jill? Brandon, you ready? R.J. Cope and the Navy team ready to go in Game 3 of the New Balance Future Stars Series Underclass Elite here for Riders Field in Frisco, Texas. Get you that starting lineup here momentarily. Victor Rojas along with Jeremy Booth, and we will hear from Jill Painter-Lopez momentarily. Jeremy, pretty good couple of games yesterday afternoon, and today just a glorious day for baseball, not a cloud in the sky.
You cannot ask for a better setting to play baseball today, certainly in a deciding game as it works out, with yesterday being a split.
First pitch swinging is Braden Regala, and he shoots one down the right field line, just fouled. And we are underway here at Riders Field, home of the Frisco Rough Riders, a AA affiliate of the Texas Rangers, in the second annual New Balance Future Stars Series Underclass Elite. Mentioned the two games that were played yesterday. The Navy team picked up the victory by the final of 6-5 in Game 1. Team White responded in the nightcap, if you will, yesterday by the final of 5-2 in Game number 2. So that's setting up the rubber match this afternoon, or this morning here. It's 11:15 when we got this thing underway. Play a full 9 innings, so all young men get a chance to showcase their abilities, especially on the pitching side. We played yesterday, both games went a full 9. Braden Regala, the starting left fielder for Team White at the plate. R.J. Cope is the left-hander on the bump. That one's upstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Saw Cope play some first base yesterday. Talented young man. He's a freshman, class of 2026. That one's in tight. Full count.
R.J. Cope attacking Regala with his fastball. Regala hitting right-handed today against a left-handed pitcher. He was left-handed yesterday. Cope with some levers, working with good velocity.
This was lined to third base and gloved by the third baseman Romeo for the first out. With the rest of the lineup here for Team White, that was Braden Regala for the first out. Colin Jones will bat second. He's at second base. David Hogg at third. Justin Hart, the cleanup hitter at first base. Cole Lanford, who we saw hitting and on the mound yesterday, will DH today. David Stanley in right field. Bryson Smith is in center. Connor Barth, the shortstop, and Caden Roy batting ninth and doing the catching. Showing bunt, he bunts it foul.
Colin Jones, as we saw yesterday and have talked about several times, bears repeating again, is a top of the scale runner. He was 4-1 down the line yesterday on the scouting scale. That's a 7. He has a 6'2", 60-yard dash. On the scouting scale, that is a 8, which is the highest grade you can give. He is a speed player, a slash player, understanding his game, looking for a bunt hit early.
A couple of Georgia natives facing off here. Cope and Jones. Jones, a junior in high school. Georgia Premier Academy in Atlanta. He was the leadoff man in the nightcap last night. Ended up going 0 for 4. R.J. Cope, obviously you can see why a lot of folks are very interested and very high on this young man. 2-1 on the way.
R.J. Cope reminds of a very young David Price. Levers, execution, delivery. The package is in there for him to be very special on the mound. He can hit. He's athletic. For me, this is him right here.
3-1, slow roller to the left side. Gloved by Romel, and there's out number 2.
Heavy baseball in the hitting zone. Colin Jones, a very disruptive player. You know, those two high school teammates, they know each other pretty well. Cope continuing to attack with the fastball, and it's his man.
Defensively for Team Navy, you've got Leininger in left, Gingrich in center, Turner is in right, Romel and Oliveira on the left side of the infield, DiCorrado and Kirksey on the right side, and Alt is doing the catching, at least in the early part of the ball game. There's a chopper over the mound towards second base, cut off nicely by the shortstop. Oliveira straightens up, fires to first, and Hogg is retired as RJ Cope has himself a 1-2-3 top of the first. Go ahead to the bottom of the first. Team Navy coming up for the first time. We're scoreless here in Frisco. Back out here at Frisco Riders Field, Victor Rojas along with Jeremy Booth, and the third person on the broadcast is none other than Jill Painter-Lopez. Jill?
Well, it was nice to see RJ Cope there, a quick first inning that he just had, and a much anticipated debut by the left-hander, class of 2026. And this is kind of putting the final bow on the Future Star series here today with the final game. But it's been a great weekend for the guys. They've had guest speakers, and Victor, you and I did a media training session. They've got a clubhouse attendant who's doing their laundry just like minor leagues and the big leagues, and so many fun things for them to do. They were just working out here at batting cages today after quite a long day in this heat with 2 games yesterday. So they've really learned a lot and had a great time here this weekend. I'll be down here doing interviews with players, coaches, and some parents. And then I also heard that Jeremy Booth gave the pregame talk today. So curious as to how that one went, Victor.
Thanks a lot, Jill. We appreciate it. And why wouldn't the CEO of Program 15 give the last speech, if you will, before these young men depart after the game today? What'd you tell them?
Vic, what happens in the clubhouse stays in the clubhouse.
All right, that's fair enough. Fair enough. I like it. Team Navy coming up here in the bottom of the first inning with no score. Zachary Gingrich to lead things off, the center fielder. Taking on the big right-hander Andrew Johnson on the mound for Team White. First one's in for a strike.
Andrew Johnson, big physical right-hander from Southern California, recently committed to USC. Fastball dominant, feel for his breaking ball, strike throw.
Breaking ball drops in beautifully. No balls and 2 strikes. You mentioned Johnson out of Capo Valley Christian. And a swing and a miss on the breaking pitch. Gingrich goes down for out number 1. Into the rest of the lineup for the Navy team. Stefan DiCorrado, the second baseman, coming up. Gavin Braylon, the DH. Riley Leininger in left field. Marcus Kirksey at first base. Josiah Romero at third base. Christian Oliveira, the shortstop. Mason Alt behind the plate. And Merkel Turner getting a start in right field, batting 9th, as that pitch is on the inside part of the plate for a strike. USC, of course, now being led by Andy Stankiewicz, coming over after a terrific run as the head coach at Grand Canyon University. Stanky, a SoCal product himself.
It's an excellent staff over there. They've got Travis Jewett and Seth Etherton and Andy Jenkins.
Swing and a miss. Down goes DiCorrado. Johnson making quick work of the first 2 batters via the strikeout.
Andrew Johnson picking up when we last saw him. Fastball establishing, breaking ball finishing.
Gavin Braylon, the DH. This one misses outside. Braylon, a junior out of Hampton, Georgia, takes on the corner to even the count. Natural position, catcher, good arm. Saw it yesterday on display. South Carolina commit. 1 ball, 2 strikes. RJ Cope had himself a 1-2-3 inning. Andrew Johnson trying to return the favor here in the bottom of the first. Off speed. sailed out of the hand on that one.
The changeup got away from him a little bit. I was just thinking to myself before that pitch that it must be the season of giving, because we're back into the generous mode so far this afternoon.
And there's nothing wrong with that. On getaway day, you want generosity behind the plate. 2-2. Breaking ball hit towards short. Scooped up easily by Barth across the diamond, and just like that, Johnson does return the favor. 6 up, 6 down to get this one underway. We're headed to a break. Top of the second's coming up next. We're scoreless here in Frisco. Beautiful morning for baseball here in Frisco, Texas. Top of the second inning, and we are scoreless. Hart, Lanford, and Stanley coming up against R.J. Cope for Team White. First pitch on the corner for a strike.
But Cope's got some late life in the hitting zone. That ball ran about 6 inches, just getting the front corner of the plate, and ended up just on the left-hand hitter batter's box line. It's a pretty good pitch.
Upstairs, Cope listed at 6'6". Said size 16 shoe. Big kid on the mound. Good pitch in on the hands, 1-2.
You know, I heard this morning he grew an inch. He's actually 6'7".
6'7" now.
Yeah.
Not surprising. It's funny how you get into that recruiting stage and all of a sudden you're just about an inch taller and about 5 to 10 pounds heavier, right? Out to center field. Rumor has it anyway. Gingrich calls it in. There's out number 1.
There's roster size, and then there's actual size.
Yep. Cole Lanford coming up. And this young man really impressed on the mound yesterday. Got the start in game 2, gave up 2 quick runs in the first inning. It settled in for 4 innings, 3 hits, 6 strikeouts, and 1 walk as he fouls this one back.
It's a pretty good swing right there from Cole, who I will openly say, given a little bit of a hard time about swinging the bat because of his ceiling on the mound. He likes to prove me wrong, so.
1 ball, 1 strike. Left-handed thrower, right-handed batter. So exposing that pitching elbow, if you will. 1-1. In there, 1-2. Lanford out of North Carolina, Raleigh. Goes to Leesville Road High School. Basketball player as well. Two balls, 2 strikes. David Stanley on deck. Check swing. Looked like he went around. And he did. Got rung up twice.
Fastball up and in. got on Cole very, very fast under his hands. Couldn't hold the swing. But R.J. Cope's some kind of impressive with that fastball and establishing it. That arm works really well. As soon as he figures out that 6'7", maybe tomorrow 6'8" frame, watch out.
Now, from a projection standpoint, as Stanley takes a pitch inside, when you see a kid like this, you can obviously see the talent, right? But how do you project body and how much weight he's going to gain, how much that will change delivery, the effect of the baseball, and so on and so forth? Especially, I mean, he's a freshman, so he's still very young.
Yeah, you know, the building blocks of what he has athletically are there. They're not going to change, right? So we have core speed, we have arm strength, we have a lower half that works, we have athleticism. All those things with added strength should just improve over time. You look at his family, his dad's a strong individual, he's got some size, some strength coming. That'll just be natural from growth. He doesn't have to do much else. He's 87, 88 now, he can touch a 90. Most players, that's a concern. For him, it's not, because how the body works. You're going to see a plus fastball and plus execution just with natural maturity.
Ahead of the count at 1-2. Stanley, the right fielder, at the plate. David, one of several Canadians in attendance this weekend here in Frisco. David's out of Toronto. Two balls, two strikes, 2 outs. Stanley loops one out to left field. There's a base hit. First base runner of the game comes with 2 outs here in the second.
Pretty good piece of hitting there by Stanley. Short path to the ball. Stays inside well. Plays in front of the plate. Line drive base hit.
It's a pretty nice approach. Talk about not panicking with 2 strikes on a pitch in on the hands. Stanley takes off on the first pitch to throw down to second. A pretty good one, and an even better slide by Stanley. He takes the outfield side of the bag, picks up the stolen base.
It's a pretty good baseball exchange right there. Cope did good to the plate. Stanley gone on first movement. Strike to second, just beat it. That's how you draw it up. Sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't. Let's get a good look here on the replay of the transfer and direction with the throw. Right on the bag. Stanley's right side, the outside part of the bag. Stolen base.
Bryson Smith fouls it off. He's behind the count.
You know, both Stanley and Cope have what we call a slow heartbeat in the scouting community. Nothing's too big for them in the moment. They live in it, they understand it, they accept it. We're watching this on display today.
I misspoke. I said Bryson behind the count. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. I thought that first pitch was high. Upstairs, 2 balls, 1 strike. Bryson Smith, a junior out of Perry, Georgia. Could not hold up. Two balls, 2 strikes. Man in scoring position. Top of the second with no score. Slight little breeze, just like we had yesterday, blowing out. Cope's 2-2. Jam shot roller back to the mound. RJ bobbles it, fires it first, and not in time. Little miscommunication there. As the ball gets away, and that allows Stanley to score all the way from second base. A little issue with Kirksey at first base. Almost like the footwork was a little discombobulated.
A little bit. RJ Cope a little bit slow off the mound to field the play. Kirksey caught himself in an unideal position. Collision at first base. Ricochet's good play to pick the ball up and back it up and execute to the plate, but Stanley hustling all the way on contact. Scores a run.
Team White scores on the error by Cope. First pitch to Connor Barth. The shortstop is up and away. Team White strikes first. pretty good lead over at first by Smith. He takes off on the pitch. This one chopped to the left side. Romeo got it across the diamond, and there's the third out. But up at 4, Team White puts a run on the board. The first run of the game. They've got a 1-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the second.
Number 3, Riley Lineker.
Team White leads it here the bottom of the second by the score of 1-0. Andrew Johnson back out for second inning of work at a 1-2-3 first. She included a couple of strikeouts. A jam job first pitch on Riley Leininger. No balls and a strike. May have gone off the foot of Riley. So Riley takes some very nice hacks yesterday. Lays off.
Riley had himself a pretty good day yesterday. A lot of hard contact, used the middle of the field, extra base hits. What he can do is this right here. He controls the batter's box. He can hit.
1-1. Bouncer up the line, foul. 1-2. Leininger, a Texas native. He's home down at Georgetown, just north of Austin. As for GPS legends, as far as the summer ball team is concerned. Another 1-2. This is a big foul and out of play.
Andrew Johnson is just pounding that strike zone. Strike after strike after strike. No rest for the weary at all. If you come up there not ready to hit, you're going to find yourself in a hole very fast. And just like that, we have ball 1.
Yes, we do. Kind of reminds me of Middleton yesterday.
Yeah, Middleton was 6 seconds between pitches. I don't know how much faster you can get. That was impressive.
Once again, looped foul. Another warm day. Temperatures in the low 90s here. It's almost like back in the day, rookie ball in the Arizona League, 10 a.m. games. Got to beat the heat. Breaking ball drops in beautifully. What a hammer. One down.
That's a pretty good pitch. Johnson continuing the pattern of establishing that fastball early, getting on your hands, working in and out of the strike zone, and finishing it with a breaking ball. It's locking hitters up. That's 3 or 4 guys already right now that haven't got a good look at that pitch yet.
Marcus Kirksey, the batter. He'll take downstairs. First baseman. Chopper over the mound, second base side ball. It's like a super ball, like picked up speed on the second hop.
Yeah, a little topspin on that ball off the bat. Kirksey staying in the middle of the field. The approach continues with Marcus Kirksey to get better at bat to bat. We saw some passive at bats yesterday, then we saw some aggressiveness. Using the middle of the field, he's going to be able to get to his power. That's a pretty good sign for future success. Good piece of hit.
Johnson will work from the stretch for the first time this afternoon. Not a big lead for Kirksey at first. The ball gets away, but not far enough for Kirksey to advance. 1-0 count on the third baseman, Josiah Romeo.
It's a good job there blocking the baseball in the dirt. We did have a conversation, Danny Schaefer did, as did I, with the catchers about the one knee setup with runners on base.
Oh, and off the end of the bat, foul. 1 ball and strike. I think the jury is perhaps still out on the one knee down. The attempt to steal strikes for some people. This one out towards center field. Going back on it is Smith, and it's over his head. Well, misplay action. You mentioned the wind's blowing out a little bit. It's just a little bit of a misread. Falls in there, and Team Navy's got a couple of men on with 1 out.
Romeo with a pretty good pass at that ball. Stayed in the middle of the field again. So easy carry, some backspin. Just took off on Bryson Smith out there. A little bit of a drift. That drift will get you every time as an outfielder. You hustle to the spot, stay behind the ball, and work through. Bryson got caught a little bit flat-footed on that.
Well, without an official score, you stand as the official arbiter. Hit or an error?
That's an E8.
E8. Old school scoring. I like it. But just so you're aware, I'm not going back to the one knee down. I'm not a big fan of it myself, especially with men on the base pads. Nice block at the plate there.
So far today, we see some improvement behind the plate on balls staying in front. And when you're catching, you want to make sure that your balls are, just like in field, the baseballs that are in the dirt are operating in a 45-degree angle, if you will, right in front, in a cone, similar to where the lines are, centering the ball back towards the middle of the diamond to pick the ball up and make a play. Base runners will see that and will not advance.
2 balls, 1 strike.
If you are in the one knee down setup, and this has been debated as you've said, most base runners will take off as soon as they see you down there because it's hard to get up from that position. The only pitch you can really throw on is a ball up in the zone.
Johnson staying away from Christian Oliveira, the shortstop. 2-2 count. 1 out, 2 on. 1-0 Team White. We're in the bottom of the second. Full count. Pretty good take right there.
Yeah. It's pretty good in the box. Slow tempo. Johnson's executing that fastball down and away. And oftentimes, even in the big leagues, that's a tough pitch to execute for pitchers. Johnson's showing he has advanced field to do that right now.
See if the runners take off. They do not. 3-2, and this is punched to second baseman. They get the line out. He drops it on the transfer. 2 down. Jones was looking towards first base to try to complete a double play, but unable to do so.
Pretty good piece of hitting there as well. Seeing some good swings, staying in the middle of the diamond on the breaking ball. Oftentimes, kids at this age, they'll try to pull the ball too much. They'll lose their swing. So far today, pretty good at bats on both sides.
Mason Alt, the catcher, fouls off the first pitch. You know, to your point, we talked a little bit about it yesterday, is that at this age, besides pitchers that might be a little bit more mature or have the pitchability beyond their years, if you will, don't really have the ability to pitch inside or double up inside. So the majority of the pitches, they got on the elbow. And the gentleman on the mound right now is not the individual that I'm talking about, because he's not the prototypical kid that you see in the amateur ranks right now, especially from a sophomore, freshman, junior capacity, even some seniors, right? So everything, it seems like, from a hitter's perspective, that you can look out over the plate and use the right center field area to make your money, if you will, right? Bring home runs, get on base. Except the problem is that you get too many kids with a mindset of pull.
You know, you would think that when you're in the game, and you know, BP is BP, and we've talked about even workouts or showcases being what they are. But if you're in the game, and we can accept what you pointed out, these guys are going to pitch away. We accept it as a reality. Staying on the ball and staying over the baseball and in the right center field gap or left center field gap if you're a left-hand hitter would be the key to successful hitting. Yet we see guys not trusting their bodies and trying to do too much and pull the ball over the pull set. It's no different than seeing a pitcher try to throw too hard at this age. And a lot of that is created by an environment of not understanding the building blocks to being successful.
Rolled foul, 1 ball, 2 strikes. The number 9 hitter, Merkle Turner, right fielder.
What is a lot of fun about watching a guy like Andrew Johnson pitch, or some of the at-bats we've seen today, is taking a professional approach, taking an athletic approach to what they're trying to do. I call that checking the box. If you know you're going to have velocity, if you believe in your strength and your athleticism, you don't have to worry about that. Just go back directly into playing the game and executing and focusing pitch to pitch on successful approaches.
1-2. That is line to left field. Is it going to get down for a hit? No! Diving catch in left field by Regala. We saw a couple of nice defensive plays yesterday, and he comes up with a gem here and saves a couple of runs.
What a play by Braden Regala. Good first step. That's a tough play. Sinking line drive to left field. Has a little side spin on it. As you see it curve towards the left field line. Leaves his feet. Loves it right underneath the ball. It's textbook. That's an excellent play.
Team Navy leaves them loaded to complete here in Frisco. And Team White's on top 1-0.
Amazing from the gear that the boys have received, custom with their name on the back, the coaching experience and the media experience like you are giving our boys and our students to learn about how they should appear on TV and how to speak with media like journalists like you.
And you're in PR and communications yourself in San Antonio. What's sort of the biggest message you have for your son in that realm?
I think to always be true to yourself and play baseball with compassion, have good camaraderie with your teammates, and just be dedicated. And I think just be dedicated to the sport and just be truthful and honest to yourself and others.
And you guys do a cool thing together. You're part of the Young Men's Service League. You guys do volunteer work. What exactly do you guys do there in San Antonio for that organization?
So we are part of the Young Men's Service League, where moms and sons get to spend time together and also serve the community, from helping elderly build ramps for their homes to packing snack bags for underserved communities that are delivered to schools around the city.
Well, that's awesome. Keep that up. We certainly appreciate all the volunteer work a lot of these kids do. So you guys are doing a great job. Thanks, Sonia.
Thank you so much.
Victor, back up to you.
Jill, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Glad that even the parents feel that, because oftentimes when you come to these type of events, whether it's a showcase, a tryout, whatever the case may be, a prospect camp at a college or university, that you, as a parent, feel as if your child is getting everything out of the experience, right? That it's bettering them and they're getting something out of it one way or the other. And you guys, New Balance Future Star Series has done a heck of a job in putting this weekend together. As that pitch catches the outside corner, and Caden Roy goes down for out number 1.
You know, the goal in putting this together wasn't just developing baseball players and finding a better and more consistent environment for talent, to find other talent. What this was about was also letting these young men get understanding that they're going to be citizens, they're going to be parts of communities a lot longer than they're going to be baseball players. And so giving back and the accountability and the components of how we build a successful society and successful young men is a collection of things, which was a lot of the foundation and part of this.
Well, every single one of them seems to have been very appreciative of the interactions with all of the coaches, members of the staff. 2 balls and a strike. Yesterday we mentioned it was a long day after hitting and working out here on Friday night. Yesterday, come out, BP, the standard go-around infield. Today, no BP on the field, but little PFP action with pitchers, little base running action with base runners. It's not just about coming out and, you know, daddy hacking in BP and playing some meaningless games. It's about the experience, about learning, about for you guys meaning Program 15 and the Future Star Series, teaching the game so that when they leave here, they're able to implement these, whether it's fall ball or getting ready for spring season in high school.
Yeah, there's so much goes into the development part of this, right? I mean, so the first 2 days you have a workout, they're getting their feet wet, they're understanding it. The second day is your first day of games. And your third day is really about, all right, we've seen you on the field a couple of days now for BP. We've let you get into the swag. You've kind of got your environment. Let's teach. Let's adjust what we've seen the last couple of days. Let's dive into this. The hunger that these young men have for the game is impressive. It is absolutely laser focused into what they're trying to do with their lives and hope to have a future career. The resiliency, the ability to process information, the compete function, very impressive. But that's what today was about. BP on the field from a scouting standpoint, we've seen 2. Yeah. You don't need to see a third one. You know what I want to see? Let's work on some base running. Let's work on some base stealing. Let's talk about PFPs. Let's do all the parts of the game you're going to need to understand, because when you go out and somebody else sees you, they're going to notice those things. And we don't want those to be left untended while you're out here taking batting practice and trying to throw fastballs.
RJ Cope dialed in a couple of strikeouts here in the third, 3 overall. There's an 0-2 count on the second baseman, Colin Jones. Swing and a miss, and RJ Cope comes out and strikes out the side. We will head to the bottom of the third with Team White leading it 1-0. RJ Cope is some filth so far.
Pretty good, man. Told you, young David Price. Young David Price.
Beautiful afternoon for baseball here in Frisco, Texas. Riders Field, home of the Frisco Rough Riders, a Double-A affiliate of the Texas Rangers. It's the bottom of the third inning. Team White leading it by the score of 1-0.
Well, you could not ask for a better. You could not ask for a better baseball day today. It is just beautiful out here.
Johnson will face the order for the second time. The chopper over the mound behind second baseman. Nicely played by Regala. Or pardon me, Barth. Round number 1.
Zach Gingrich arriving late last night, football player in high school, playing varsity football down in the San Antonio area. Had to change his plans a little bit. High school coach said he had to stay back and watch film on Saturday morning, so he stayed back and watched film. Was a good teammate there. Showed up late last night, ready to play.
Stefan DiCorrado takes the off-speed pitch downstairs. He struck out in the first. Johnson with 3 strikeouts, no walks, 1 hit, 1 hit batter. Got out of it. Bases loaded jam in the second inning on the terrific diving play by Regalan left. Jam shot roller to short. Barth is there. 2 down.
Connor Barth, sure hands, sure feet. He's a good ball player. Offensively, he reminds a little bit of Ryan Braun with me. The bat is going to be ahead of the glove, but he's got the instincts and actions to stay on the dirt.
So Braylon will step in. He grounded out to Barth in the first inning. Barth has fielded 3 ground balls thus far. That's a really good hack on a high fastball.
Second time through the order, these guys have seen Johnson. They're aware he's going to attack with the fastball, and they're not letting themselves go too far behind. You're facing a strike thrower. It's what you have to do. You don't want to go down 0-2. You want to try to hit early in the count. That's a pretty good pitch. It's the 5th time today that he's executed that down and away glove side fastball. If you can do that, that's going to get hitters thinking and diving a little bit. Opens up the inside part of the plate for him.
One-two count on Braylon. Johnson's pitch, a breaking ball. Checked his swing. We want to check to see if he did go. No help needed, apparently. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Johnson staying away from Braylon. Breaking ball away, fastball away, another fastball away. Pretty good sequence. Competitive at bat by Braylon. Wearing the chosen number of 15. Have to respect that.
Thurman Munson. Chopper toward the hole. Gonna be a tough play by Barth. Gloves it off balance throw, and Braylon the catcher, although albeit a DH here in game 3, able to leg it out.
He's a pretty athletic catcher. Braylon's got some what we call body life to him, fluidity, rhythm, looseness in his actions. Connor Barth ranging to his right, picking that ball up and throwing that from midair. It's going to be interesting to watch how that develops. That's a very tough play. Yeah. You see it made more often today, obviously made more popular by Derek Jeter years and years and years ago, but that's a tough play to throw midair, and as he gets his arm strength, he's going to really be able to throw.
Saves a plate appearance for Riley Leininger, who struck out looking to second. Johnson dropped a beautiful breaking ball on Leininger to get him looking in that second inning. Quick throw over to first base. Braylon's back. Ripped down the right field line. That's going to go for extra bases. Leininger, a little stumble around first. He's able to get in there with a double as Braylon ends up at third.
Riley able to open up his swing on another extra base hit and loud contact, which we've talked about throughout the weekend as being his strength. Man, that's a good piece of hitting. It's a pretty swing.
No doubt.
Extra bases, run producer. You know, he fits, if you project him out, he fits right in the middle of the lineup. Plays a corner, left field, first base, right field maybe, but he's going to be able to hit. If you get a left-handed bat like that handles both left-handers and right-handers, covers the bottom of the zone and understands how to open his swing, you got yourself a chance at a run producer.
Leininger, an uncommitted junior. Marcus Kirksey takes the off-speed pitch.
You know, going back to Leininger being uncommitted, I gotta tell you, that one I don't understand. In the age of early commits, this is a left-handed power bat that has the ability to hit. That's an interesting one to still see on the board.
Missed it. 2 balls and no strikes. Kirksey chopped one over the mound for a base hit in the second inning, so he's 1 for 1. Team White's up 1-0. We're in the bottom of the third. Navy, like they did in the second, threatening here. And again, a 2-out rally. And that is drilled out to right field. Boy, that ball was smoked. That one will go off the top of the wall. 2 runs will come home. Kirksey hustling into second. He's got himself a 2 RBI double. 2-1 Navy.
Talk about opening up your swing. Marcus Kirksey's approach has improved at bat to at bat, pitch to pitch. Gets a ball in the inner part of the strike zone. He stays on the baseball, opens up his hips, gets caught watching it just a little bit. Knew he hit that ball hard right off the top of the wall. And there's that power bat, continues to evolve a swing at a time.
All started with a little infield single off the bat of Braylon. Leininger with a double, and now the double, 2 RBI variety by Kirksey. This one foul back. Josiah Romeo, the third baseman, reached on an error. Bryson Smith, he's 0 for 1.
And Andrew Johnson coming right back with that fastball. He's had 2 balls hit pretty hard off him back-to-back, both on fastballs on the inner part of the plate to left-handers. Not afraid, comes right back at Romeo with another fastball.
Oh-2 pitch. Little flare out to shallow right field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Kirksey lumbering around third. The throw is up the line, and that'll be an RBI single. Make it 3-1 Navy.
Josiah Romeo also continued to impress. That's the 3rd time in 3 games he's used that side of the field with success. Stays on the ball well, long in the hitting zone. Fastball, breaking ball, doesn't seem to matter. That's what we talk about. Vicky just talked about guys pitching out over the plate and hitters needing to stay over there versus trying to pull. That's the results you can have when you stay in the middle of the field. In the professional world, we call that left turns. Left turns are good.
Yep.
Right turns are bad.
Christian Oliveira steps in now, the shortstop. Still 2 outs, 3 runs in. In for a strike. Bluffing at first base was Romeo. There goes Romeo. Swing and a miss. A throw down to second base. Not in time to steal a base.
Pretty good jump there by Romeo. Had the timing and the rhythm. It's gone. As soon as that heel picked up, it's so much of base stealing. It's not just picking your pitch and reading the pitcher, but it's a combination of things as well as your first step. Breaking ball count, Not much of a chance for Caden Roy.
Olivera lined down in his first AB. This one's fouled off. Count remains 0-2. Breaking ball. Scooped out of the dirt. I'll have to throw down a first to complete the strikeout, but not before Team Navy strikes for 3 here against Johnson.
Nasty breaking ball from Andrew Johnson to put hitters away. Buried it well, and another good block by Caden Roy today. 2 feet, staying in front, protecting the plate.
3 complete, and now Team Navy's up.
Welcome back. I'm here with RJ Cope, who of course just pitched the first 3 innings. How did you feel like their stuff played out here today?
Today, it was pretty good today. I mean, just at the beginning, I had to find my location and try and get it in the zone a little bit more. Got 3 ground outs out of it, not what I wanted, but I felt confident coming back the next inning and trying to do better than I did the first inning. And the second inning, I did get kind of a little crazy, but I tried to get it back, and I got out of the inning, luckily with 1 run. So the next inning, of course, I went ahead and dealt and did as best as I can to stay in the zone and feel more confident in my pitches. So it went overall better.
Part of pitching for every pitcher, of course, is working your way out of jams, etc. You are a part of the class of 2026, the youngest player out here. What's maybe some of the things that you have learned from some of the older guys?
Learning from the older guys, just focusing more, staying in the game mentally, and never letting anything bad come into play. Just having fun out there.
You guys have really gotten a lot in over the Friday, Saturday, Sunday. What's kind of the most fun part for you of the weekend?
The weekend was coming into the Gallet. I think on room 9, just getting my stuff and just felt like the greatest experience, a great moment to be in. And I truly am thankful to be here for the experience and just getting all my stuff and laying on the bed and just it was a great experience.
Awesome. Well, it's been a pleasure watching you, all 6, 7 of you, and we certainly appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, back to you, Victor.
Jill, thank you so much. Boy, what a job that RJ Cope did on the mound. 3 innings, had 4 strikeouts, 1 hit allowed. This one's fouled off. You can see why that young man obviously has a lot of talent, a lot of high ceiling and upside. Taking over on the mound for him is the right-hander Vinny Hudson. Outside.
Vinny Hudson, Southern California player, University of Arizona commit. 2-way guy, another one of those 2-way guys that'll let you know later on what he's going to do. Plays the middle of the diamond, can pitch, spin up to 92 miles an hour. A lot of baby face in him, a lot of youth on the upside here for him. Nowhere near a finished product. And he also will be coming to the main event next week at Fenway Park.
Got a couple of guys that are headed there from here as well, right?
Correct. Yeah, Vinny Hudson, Cole Lanford, who we saw yesterday, and David Stanley.
And every one of those players are, with the exception of the ones mentioned, are seniors, juniors?
They are seniors with the exception of the ones we just mentioned, correct. That's usually the event for the draft eligible player.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Top of the 4th. This one's fouled off. David Hogg grounded out in the first inning. Batting from the left side, switch hitter. Did not see him hit left-handed yesterday.
We did not. It was mentioned. We talked about how good he is from the left side. David being convinced by our staff to jump over to that side today and have some good at-bats.
Go down swinging, chasing a breaking ball, perhaps a little bit out of the zone. First down of the inning. First baseman Justin Hart coming up now.
David Hogg will be a very good switch hitter. He's been playing football, hasn't had a chance to work much on his swing, which is good. Got to have some downtime and play different sports as a young man. But in order to be a switch hitter, you have to work at it.
This one sliced out to right field for a one-out single. Turner comes up with it, gets it back in. Nice swing by Hart, who's now 1 for 2.
Pretty good piece of hitting by Justin Hart, staying on the baseball, running down and into him, staying inside. That's a tough thing to do for a right-handed hitter and a right-handed pitcher. Sometimes eyes will get big, as they say, and try to open your swing and do too much. Justin Hart staying right on the baseball and making that left turn.
Cole Lanford batting for the left side, switch hitter. DH here in game 3. Struck out in the second. Oh, Cole liked that call.
Hudson, a little bit of a backdoor slider right there. I'm not sure if that got away from him or if that was intentional. Either way, that one worked.
Lanford slices this one out to left field. A couple of opposite field singles. It can be done. They can be taught, Jeremy Booth.
Interesting how many guys we see using the other side of the field in this event, as well as same guys having the ability to open up their swing and drive the ball to their pull side, their power side. So perhaps there's something to that, Vic, that 150-year-old thought process of stay in the middle of the field and use the other side.
I hope it works. I hope it works. For their sake, I hope it works. But it's a difficult conversation to get, and I think it's because maybe this is just me as a parent, having been immersed in this the last couple of years, is that everyone gets so geeked up about BP and the daddy hacks when it doesn't really count. The old 5 o'clock hitter, as you pointed out yesterday, that they carry that mindset over into games. And you could sit there and talk to kids in game and tell them, listen, he does not have the ability to pitch inside, look out over the plate, and just go with what they're giving you. And still, you get guys that get pitches on the outside part of the plate, fastballs. Instead of driving them to the right side, it's a ground ball to short, ground ball to left, or to third base. And they're outs. They're getting themselves out. And a lot of times against mediocre pitching.
Oh, no question. I mean, we are living in an age of highlights, right? We see short bursts on social media, we see short bursts on television, and these players are the future of the game. They're no different. They're watching the same things we are. The difference, I think, sometimes comes into teaching these players that if you are good enough, and while it definitely doesn't mean you don't have to seek out opportunities to be seen, that you shouldn't worry about who's in the stands. Play the game properly. Those guys will ultimately pay you. A scholarship is a form of compensation. A professional contract is obviously compensation. And if you want to play the game in a way that gets you paid and gets you advanced, you have to be able to win. And if you can't do the things we're talking about, ultimately you can't win games. It's just that simple. It comes back to that. So getting the players to accept, do the things that will help you win, understand your tools, accept your tools, focus on executing skills. When the light bulb goes on, it is special. Is it a difficult conversation to have? Absolutely. But that's how the game has moved forward for 150 years. And when you see these kids get it, any kid get it, it becomes a much more fun experience for the player themselves, and they fall back in love with the game. Sometimes it gets way too difficult at 13 or 14 or 15 because of the pressure you're putting on yourself to perform with a tool you don't have yet because you're just 13 or 14 years old.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, and 2 on. Swing and a miss. David Stanley goes down swinging for out number 2. So runners are made at first and second, and Bryson Smith, the center fielder, coming up. He reached on an error in his first plate appearance. That was in the 2nd inning. Team Navy up 3-1. We're at the top of the 4th.
Finney Hudson just competing with his fastball regardless of what happens. That's what you want to see out of these players. You have to turn the page, the moment's over, move on to the next. It's a pretty good breaking ball right there.
That's an under control breaking ball. Beautiful. Fastball misses a little bit low. 1 ball, 1 strike. One from Hudson. That gets away. Runners will advance.
That's a ball that's got to be caught. Arm side down for the catcher, glove side down for the pitcher. That's what we call a confidence pitch. If you see a little bit late, a little bit tight reacting to that, kind of fights himself instead of moving into the ball. Something else they've started to teach in catching is reaching one way and your body going the other. And that doesn't work. You got to move into the baseball to receive it and pick it up.
2 on, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Hudson opted to work from the full windup. It's Bryson Smith. Swing and a miss, and he gets it. 3 strikeouts in the inning for Hudson. Took him a little while to get there, but no damage coming across as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Team Navy's leading it 3-1.
Welcome back. I'm here with Brian Norris, COO of Program 15 Sports. Thanks for joining us in the hot seats here. Your thoughts on all of the stuff that it takes? I don't think people probably know all the work and how long it takes for you guys to get these things going. What all is involved in getting this event happening?
Yeah, you know, it takes a team, right? So whether that be our team or our vendors, anybody who supports us, but it really takes vision. And in 2015, Jeremy had a vision to start this company, and in 2016 really began to lay it out. And as we go over the years, you don't have an event like this without planning it years ahead. So as Jeremy laid out the vision, we have the opportunity to work with our vendors, build staff of teams like Chris Capozzi, Morgan Haas, Renee Booth, Max Mize, Jack Mize, all of our staff that goes into how do we make this vision happen? How do we get here to the Rough Rider Stadium? How do we get to Boston? Right, and on our partnership with New Balance there, and then how do we get to U of A for the Fresh 50? So it really takes coordinating all aspects of the departments of operations to land here so that when the parents get here, the players get here, they can have a great environment to play in, stress-free, a talented group of coaches that work hard to get the players just one level better than they were when they got here. And they don't get here without the staff prior to this at the other events. So you think about, hey, where do these kids start? Right, where how did they get here? All of our scouting and development team, getting them here, getting all of our team together to make sure that all the logistics are right, and then making this the best show we can with anyway, and then having a great environment like these guys.
And of course, this is not, excuse me, just a one-off event. You guys have Boston next week, so no rest for the weary, and that's the main event. What do you guys have going in Boston next weekend?
We'll have another great event. You know, we'll start in Hartford. We'll have a great deal there. We'll have Stephen Mackey out again to speak, bridging the baseball and life together for these young men. And once that gets done, we'll go over to Fenway. We'll have a doubleheader there. It'll be, you know, some of these kids once in a lifetime experience. Some of them, maybe it's the first time they step on the field of many for those young men. So we look forward to having that event, making it very successful, just as much as we have here, working with our partners to deliver a great product, really for the kids and the parents. At the end of the day, those are the ones who benefit the most, in our opinion.
This has absolutely been a great venue here in Frisco. And then, of course, the Green Monster next. Victor, back to you.
Jill, thank you so much. This one shot to the alley in right center field. Mason Alt going the opposite way. Just following suit with the trend that we have here through the 3.5 innings thus far.
It's refreshing to see hard contact consistently the other side of the field. Very good approaches by this group of young men, putting in the work with Greg Jacobs, James Lofton, Anthony Granado, Jason Espedo, Rafael Santo Domingo, the staff that has all played at a very, very high level. I also want to thank COO Brian. We call him Chuck Norris. It's an old college nickname back in the day. He looked a little bit like Chuck Norris back then, so that just kind of stuck.
I like it. Done a great job of putting it all together.
No question.
New pitcher on the mound. It's Caleb Rogers taking over for Andrew Johnson, who gave up 3 runs on 5 hits, worked 3 innings, and struck out 4. Turner lifts one out to right field. Making the catch on it is Stanley. 1 away.
Caleb Rogers, a 2025 grad out of San Antonio. Upside arm, two-way guy, athletic, plays the outfield as well. Bright future ahead of him, very, very fast arm. Executes the fastball well, has feel for his secondary already. Understands uniquely at 15 years old how to use both sides of the plate. This is obviously mostly class of 24s. He belongs in this event as well. And he continues to show us every time we see him the progress with his field of pitch.
Ball gets away from Roy. Wild pitch puts a man in scoring position. And clearly a pitch that should have been blocked.
Yeah, Caden Roy's having a much better day today. One got away from him there. He'll adjust with what we've seen just from day 1 to day 2. He'll adjust, and that won't happen again.
Zach Gingrich 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground ball to short. Snap throw to second base, one hopper. Diving back safely is Alt.
Gingrich, a very athletic hitter, fun to watch play. Covers pretty good ground in the outfield, good instincts in the box as well. Just settling in after playing football on Friday. Ooh. Getting used to the outer part of the plate by Caleb Rogers right there.
Jacob Patterson calling the balls and strikes. Stephen Graber on the bases, the umpires for today's game. 2-1. That was nowhere near the strike zone.
It was not, and pitch before was a little generous. Mr. Gingrich was not happy, went to walk for ball 4, and I think you'll see that time he did it again, and we have a left or a right turn.
Left turn's no good. No, left turns are good. Right turns no bad.
Right turns are bad.
0-2 count, or pardon me. I thought it was an 0-2 count. DiCorrado is 0 for 2, I should say. Takes a strike again on that outside part of the plate. DiCorrado struck out in the first, grounded to short in the 3rd inning. Saw Stefan play third base yesterday. Started second base today. White team with a run in the second inning. Navy putting 3 on the board in the bottom of the third. Sliced down the line, and that one is foul.
Boy, hitter after hitter staying on the baseball. Fair or foul, using the other side of the field, playing in the big part of the diamond, leading to success. Positive, get it back, competitive, pitch after pitch after pitch on both sides. That's fun to see. That's fun to see, especially when they're projecting out for the future of what these guys can be, which is what this is all about.
Off speed, on the line, it's a fair ball under the glove of Hart. That'll bring home a run. DiCarado on his way to second base. He is in there with an RBI double. It's 4-1 Navy.
Pitch for 4, Rogers works away. DiCarado flips one foul. Breaking ball, leaves it up in the zone on the inner third. DiCarado stays over the ball well, keeps it fair inside the line, extra bases.
Mentioned yesterday, the 2 games were split by these teams. Navy taking game 1 and Team White bouncing back in the nightcap. Navy leading right now 4-1 here at the bottom of the 4th. A little bit low.
Interesting, the Canadian players, how well they're playing today. Some of these guys are swinging the bat. Mayo, Kirksey, now DiCarado, all from Canada.
They've gotten past the jet lag. And or the exchange rate. This one's fouled back 1-1. Gavin Braylon, DH, 1 for 2, ground out, and a single with a run scored.
Pretty fastball right there.
Braylon, when he decides to let it fly, does not get cheated.
No, sir, he does not. Very aggressive in the strike zone.
And he goes down swinging here, but Navy scores a run. And they increase their lead. 4 complete here in Frisco. New Balance Future Star Series Underclass Elite. Navy's on top 4-1.
Welcome back. I'm with Bobby Tewksbury, and you're our partner with the program 15 Sports as the CEO of your company, Pelotero. You do data and testing with these players. Tell me a little bit about that and how it can help them.
Yeah, data it doesn't define the athlete, but we're trying to help them understand what they're good at, what they're not good at, areas of improvement. We're trying to work with the scouts to translate what they know and turn that into data so we can help the players ultimately become better players and reach their dreams of playing college or beyond.
And there's a couple of things like exit velocity and launch angle. I mean, we hear about those in Major League Baseball, and we know kids are looking at that. How much of that is important? How much of that do some players kind of, really focus on that kind of stuff, and where do you come in on that?
Yeah, there's a lot of hyper-focus on the numbers sometimes that can be detrimental. Ultimately, the numbers help us understand what the player's capable of, but it doesn't define who they are as a player. So, launch angle happens on every ball that's hit. So, we know that hitting the ball at 15 degrees is like a line drive. So, I'm more concerned about translating the numbers into baseball talk than just spitting a number out in a metric.
All right, and so all this information is stored. This is not just a one-off type of thing. How can these players use the analytics, that you have in a computer to improve their game?
Yeah, everything we're doing is about identifying their priorities and the things they need to work on so we can deliver drills and programs and exercises so they can actually address it and get better.
Very well. Thank you very much for your time, Bobby. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Victor, back to you.
Thank you, Jill. And Pelotero is just pretty much a new company that's in the space, but it's pretty much the norm nowadays as far as trying to get as much the analytics and numbers that can translate, at least help translate what a player can do currently and what he might be capable of doing in the future.
Yeah, you know, we believe in predictive analytics, which is what it's about. You know, the playable exit velocities and athleticism markers and how your body's construed and strength indicators. And what Pelotero does is takes that and spits out data-driven development plans to complement what our guys are, as subjectively, are teaching on the field to make a complete player. The idea is that the two work together, not one over the other.
Bryson Smith retired to start this 5th inning. Towering pop-up. Yeah, I think sometimes too often you can get overwhelmed with everything that is going on as far as the analytics and almost from a parent perspective, from a kid's perspective, it's overkill a little bit.
From a player perspective, it can be overkill. You know, there's analysis or paralysis by analysis rather is a very real thing. Bobby's partner Chris Colabello played in the big leagues for quite some time. Bobby and Chris grew up together, also former teammates. Funny thing, I have a picture of Bobby Tewksbury turning a double play with me sliding into second base. So, you know, there's some history there, some understanding of the swing, understanding of what it should be doing on the field. And those guys do a real good job of simplifying and centering and driving that forward.
Misspoke. I said Bryson Smith led off. It was actually Connor Barth who popped down. Cade Roy, a bouncer back to the mound. Top of the order now, Braden Regala. Regala, the left fielder, 0 for 2, a line out in the first, a strikeout in the third, and a terrific diving catch. Saved some runs in the second inning. There's a bases loaded sinking liner to left field, 2 outs. 1-2 on the way. Hudson delivers a fastball for a called strike 3. A 1-2-3 5th inning. Impressive.
Billy Hudson has that killer instinct in him. Once again, executing finishing pitch after finishing pitch, fastball down away with a backup life. Good night.
Bottom of the 5th inning here at Riders Field, the final game of the New Balance Future Star Series Underclass Elite. Navy is on top by the score of 4-1. Riley Leininger lead things off. Kirksey to follow, then Romeo, part of the order in which helped Navy score 3 runs in the third. Leininger with a double and a run scored in that third inning. 1 for 2 overall in the game. A couple of changes for the team white. Nathan Carrillo is the new catcher. Adrian Jimenez at third base. Derek Layton at shortstop. Jake Downing at second base. This one out toward left center field, and that is going to get down for a base hit. So Leininger once again going the opposite way.
It's a pretty good couple of days for Mr. Leininger so far. Once again, staying in the big part of the diamond, middle field. I don't know how many times we're going to end up saying that today and between the last couple of days, but man, that's a pretty approach. Staying on the baseball production.
Marcus Kirksey, 2 for 2 with a single and a double. He'll go the other way, and there's a base hit. 3-hit game for Kirksey.
Do we need to say it?
No.
Do we say it again?
No.
Okay.
I think what we've said is good enough. It's worked.
I can go with that. I'll say this, that was pretty.
Yeah.
Also impressive to follow up with that piece of hitting after driving the ball as hard as he did off the pull side right field wall. Young players have a hard time staying within themselves to come back with that type of approach after such a successful hard hit ball the first time.
Romeo takes upstairs. One ball, one strike, nobody out. The chopper to the right side. Laying back on it is Downing. He'll go to first. It's the only play he has. Runners will advance 90 feet. As they call the old productive out.
Runners move up, 1 out, 2 runners in scoring position. Romeo staying on the right side of the diamond in the middle of the field once again. Good things happening for the Navy club.
Infield is in. Christian Olvera 0 for 2 with a line out to strikeout. 1 ball, no strikes.
Christian's due. He's due. He's hit the balls hard. Got the infield in here. A fastball pitcher on the mound, 4-seam fastball pitcher on the mound. There's a chance to get something up in the zone. Pick up a run.
Ball and a strike on Oliveira. Shortstop. It's the first half of the game for Team Navy. 1-1 now. Up and away. 2 balls, 1 strike. Second inning of work for Caleb Rogers. Allowed a run on 2 hits in the 4th inning.
These type of moments are defining for young players as far as what their growth can be. Rogers has got to bear down, minimize the damage here, leave a couple stranded. Oliveira trying to find something to drive into the outfield, past pick up both runs.
This one down the right field line. Long run for Stanley. He'll go into a slide. Did he glove it? No. Unable to come up with it. It's a foul ball. Heck of an effort on a slicing little liner. Unfortunately for Team White, it goes foul.
Pretty good first step by Stanley. Good angles and closing speed on the ball. Just quite doesn't get there. If he does, it's a run. If he catches that ball, it's a run as he left his feet. Might be fortuitous he didn't make the play. The hustle and the angle and the instincts is exactly what you want to see.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, 2 on. Get that off-speed pitch up a little bit.
Oliveira competing pitch at a time. Refusing to cave. Chase one out of the zone. Has made Rogers work back to the play a little bit. Interesting battle. Good at bat.
I thought it was a 2-2 count. It was actually a 3-2 count. So the bases are loaded now.
Pitching, number 22, Jack Holly.
Jack Holly pinch hitting for Mason Alt. Swinging at the first pitch. Rogers working for the full windup. This is swinging a miss on the off-speed pitch. 0-2. Jack Holly, Spanish Fort, Alabama, junior. Currently uncommitted. Catcher.
Jack's been searching a bit to find a consistent swing. Has some strength, has some ability to recognize pitch. Just been hunting for what is going to end up being his swing. And his swing is, you know, having your own swing rather is such an important thing as a hitter. It's not, they're not cookie cutter type approaches.
1-2, and he'll go down swinging for the second out of the inning. Infield will move back to normal depth. And Turner will come up for the 3rd time. 0 for 2. Not an easy pitch to dig out of the dirt. Fastball.
Interesting reaction technique right there to dig that one out. Usually that's a backhand or a shift. That was kind of an underhand scoop.
That is pulled foul. Headed toward the bullpen area.
Turner wants that one back. He's talking to himself in the box. He wants that one back. Four-seamer right down the middle of the plate, just a little bit quick. It's another pretty good block.
Yeah, Nathan Carrillo doing a nice job behind the plate there. First inning of action.
Two feet, traditional shifts, centers. Nathan Carrillo's catching coach back at home, who he plays for, Chad Moeller.
I remember Chad, former Arizona Diamondback.
Chad Moeller, an original Future Star Series staff member.
Another good guy.
Great human being. His son Luke participated for years, played the main event last year.
3-1 pitch. It's fouled back. Full count. Get the merry-go-round going here with the pitches, or the base runners taking off on the next pitch. 3-2, 2 outs. 4-1. Team Navy leads it. They're looking for more. We're in the bottom of the 5th. Runners go. And Turner chases the pitch nowhere near the strike zone. And Team Navy will leave them loaded. 5 complete here at Frisco. It's the Future Star Series Underclass Elite. Navy still leads at 4-1.
Seemed like the curveball was really working today. What did you think about your pitching performance today as a starter?
I mean, you can always figure out what somebody can do better on the mound, but you know, today I was missing a little bit with it, but you know, it felt good with the spin and everything. But I mean, just missing a little bit. Think I could break it off a little bit harder, but you know, sometimes I got the job done, sometimes I didn't.
And your most fun experience here this weekend?
I mean, just being with these boys. It's a great team, you know. So I mean, just hanging out with them, getting to know everybody. Everybody's from different parts of the country, all that stuff, knowing about all that, and just kind of being around everybody.
All right, and the necklace you have, the pearls there, I know you told me they're not real, but what's the significance of wearing that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big Dodger guy, so Cali guy, so I'm a big Jock Peterson guy, so he kind of brought these back, and I couldn't afford the ones that he had, but you know, I got these off Amazon, 2-day shipping.
Amazon 2-day shipping. We got to get you Amazon Prime so you can get it the next day, some of those. But you were wearing a towel over your head in the dugout there, and what's the significance of that?
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm going to USC, committed there, and my boy from our school, Adrian Blanchett, he's going to USC. So, you know, he went to area code, got one of these, kept on his head, and he's like, man, you got to get one of these. It says from the sun, and he looked good. So I was like, man, I got to get one, and that's just kind of been rocking with that.
It's so cool that 2 of you guys from back home are going to be pitching for USC. I know I've seen your dad out here wearing the SC gear already, so that's pretty cool. So we'll be able to see you in a couple years doing that. But thanks again for your time. We appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Victor, back to you.
Thanks a lot, Jill. You'll fight on. USC Trojans. Top of the 6th inning, Navy's up 4-1. Jake Downing leading things off. Shows bunt, takes it upstairs. Downing, a junior, Redwood City, California. J. Sarah High School, Cal Poly commit. Infield, outfield pitcher. Where do you see him?
Outfielder. I think that's where he fits. He can hit. He's got rhythm in what he does. A lot of these guys are such rhythmic athletes. I think Downing's instincts play better in the outfield, but you know, he's the type of guy that can put a little bit everywhere, help you out. A little bit of FP Santangelo, if you will, from back in the day.
Sure. So lifted Fallon out of play, even the count.
Boy, Vinny Hudson is just relentless in his approach to play the game. He's dominating bats with the fastball. He's commanding that breaking ball, which is so tough to do at any point in time, let alone at 15, 16 years old. Commanding the breaking ball, being able to bury it out of the zone for strikes. Fastball elevated.
Just off the plate. Vinny's worked 2 innings, plus 1 batter, plus this batter, I should say. 4 strikeouts, 2 hits allowed. Retired the side in order the 5th. Lifted foul. This one will head to the seats.
One thing about Jake Downing, he does not swing and miss a lot. He's very, very good in the zone. His plate discipline, he's good with getting the barrel of the baseball. Calling getting it to the next pitch, which is so important in hitting. When you're facing guys that can command it and cut it and dart it and elevate it, doesn't mean, of course, he never strikes out. It does mean he has a very good chance for success with consistent contact in the field.
And he draws a leadoff walk.
of good at bats on both sides of the field today, both Navy and White. Has some good offensive approaches against some guys that are around the strike zone.
That's the first walk issued by Team Navy. Matter of fact, both teams have issued just one walk. Adrian Jimenez, the batter. Justin Hart on deck. First plate appearance for Jimenez. He'll pop this one up on the right side. There's Patterson with the call and the catch. One down.
I know Jimenez popped up there, but he's such a student of hitting, as we talked about yesterday. Watching Vinny Hudson, understanding what's going to happen, attacking with the fastball, strike thrower, wasting no time. Didn't work out his way, but that's the right approach. Man on first base, you know you're getting a fastball, let it go.
Justin Hart at the plate now. 1 for 2 with a single in his last at bat. One run in the second inning for Team White. Navy with 3 in the third and 1 in the fourth. Jack Holly came in a pinch hit, stays behind the plate, doing the catching now. Pretty good lead for Downing. He takes off. Pitch upstairs, a throw down to second, not in time.
1-1 count, likely getting a breaking ball from Vinny Hudson based on the way he's approached hitters the first couple of innings. Jake Downing, a base stealer. Once again, the patented oven mitt on his left hand. It's a pretty good jump. Nothing Holly can really do. Stole that easily.
Holly and Hudson going to talk things over. Man at second base, just go through the signs. So a couple of late inning comeback attempts by both teams yesterday. That's one thing that's been fun to watch for both of these teams. The fact that it's not just about getting here, getting the stuff and going. It's, I guess at this stage you'll get a lot of these. They want to win. Nice backhanded play. Bad throw to first. Ball kind of checked up to his right. Threw him off balance. So Hart will reach on the infield base hit.
Look at a funny side spin here. Right off the bat. Romero does a pretty good job of sticking with it. That last second hop's so tough to deal with. Stays under control. Kirk's has got no choice but to go get the baseball, prevent a run from scoring. Double play still in order. Not ideal. Like to have 2 outs here, but double play still in order and a chance to get out of the inning with no damage.
Cole Lanford was originally in this spot. This is Shamar McDuffie getting an opportunity here for the first time. Oh, 1 pitch, foul back, good swing. All over it. McDuffie, a junior out of Hampton, Georgia. The East Cobb Astros, summer. Not a bad program.
Interesting to see how Hudson's going to respond here. You get a swing like that at one of your best fastballs in the zone. Hitter knows he's on it. He's got your timing. Hudson says, "Oh yeah, let's try this again."
He did just about everything McDuffie did just to get a last bit of maple on it.
Hudson had a little bit extra behind that one and had some location on it.
0-2 upstairs. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Both these guys are locked in. Look on both their faces as I'm competing. I'm ready to go.
Yep.
Bring me your best.
Called strike 3. Got him looking.
That That is another nasty breaking ball from Vinny Hudson. Just advanced feel, time and time again, to locate, to execute, to finish in and out of the zone. These guys are so geared for the velocity after seeing such a steady diet of it. McDuffie and that at bat having Hudson's rhythm and timing with what he's doing with that fastball. Hudson dropped on the first strike, and not much he could do. Sometimes you got to tip your cap.
David Stanley skies this one out to shallow right. Turner moving in and toward the foul line, and is there to make the catch. Nothing happening for Team White here in the 6th inning. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th, and Navy still on top by the score of 4-1. Bottom of the 6th inning, 4-1. Team Navy leads it. First pitch way upstairs to Gavin Braylon, who's leading things off for Navy.
Caleb Rogers, a little bit of a rough inning, picked himself out of it, which is key to minimizing the damage. But right back to work here.
Actually, this is Cale Risch batting for Zach Gingrich. First plate appearance for Risch. The 1-2. Way outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Third inning of work for Caleb Rogers. They were through the 5th inning. Throwing a lot of pitches. And it's a leadoff walk.
Rogers trying to establish inside part of the plate and ride some of the momentum from the last inning when he was able to keep the score right where it's at. Missed just a little bit in. Rice can run. Rice is now a problem on the base paths for the white team. Instincts 6'5", 60. Speed plays up on the base paths when he's get underway.
Taylor Tatum seeing action for the first time this weekend. That's upstairs. Tatum, a junior from Longview, Texas, goes to Longview High School. Snap throw to first base, and getting back in there is Risch.
Taylor Tatum, a little bit like Brian Jordan, played with the Atlanta Falcons and the St. Louis Cardinals and Atlanta Braves. Built extremely solid, athletic, explosive, highly recruited football player.
Big swing and a foul ball back.
And all the baseball impact ability. But another young man that's going to have a decision to make, as he is a prospect in both sports.
Number of Division I offers to play football, but remains uncommitted. Tied him up upstairs. One away.
Pretty good fastball there by Rogers. Elevated. Targets a little bit up in the zone. Missed the spot just a little bit, but still very effective.
Yep. Chris Patterson comes up. He's playing second base. Taking over defensively. First plate appearance for him today. 1 ball, no strikes. Trey Markham has come out to the on-deck circle. Taking off, Risch, throw down, not in time, but he comes off the base, still able to get the hand back in there.
That base stealing ability with that foot speed we just spoke about when Rice reached base with the walk. Kale's going to look to run. That's what we talk these base stealers about doing. The guys that can run, look to run. Use your speed, make it a tool. Pretty good jump right there, and stole it easily.
Patterson takes high. 3-0. He draws a 4-pitch walk. Second of the inning. Maybe we spoke too soon as far as the walks are concerned. Third issued by Rogers. And Markham steps in. Think of a game yesterday with the RBI triple to the alley left center field. Big kid. He can swing it.
Power bat. My Tim Salmon comparison. I've heard Jeff Francoeur. Some of the veteran scouts have been around, have even said, you'll love this one, Tom Brunansky.
Nice, Minnesota Twin. I can see that. 1-0. It's in there for a strike. Risch at second base, Patterson at first, and that one catches the corner.
It's a pretty good pitch by Rice right there in a tough situation. 1-1 count, has to execute, keep the count in his favor, give himself some options. Fastball down and away, again a tough pitch to execute for a young pitcher. Gets it done.
Nice block. Anticipating the off-speed pitch, and a nice job keeping in front of him. Don't know that you want to make a mistake up there. That's just me.
I would have to agree with you on that, especially a four-seam fastball to a kid like this with that type of strength. And Trey Markham is not afraid to swing the bat. He will let it go. Very controlled, we call controlled violence through the hitting zone with the barrel.
Risch started to go, and now they step off. Now they call a balk. And moved before he disengaged.
Markham with a run production opportunity now.
Trying to add to Navy's 4-1 lead. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Infield in for Team White. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out. Full count. Shea Broughton, the on deck circle. Bat for the first time. Payoff on the way now. And he walked him. 3rd walk of the inning, and they're loaded up.
Says this game has a chance to be broken wide open with 1 out and bases loaded here in the 6th. Shea Broughton also someone that's been unafraid to swing the bat, had a good couple of days so far. Got an opportunity here with a struggling Caleb Rogers to find the strike zone with any consistency.
Broughton takes a strike. Walk speed pitch. Junior out of Goodyear, Arizona. Goes to Canyon View High School. He's got the bases loaded. He'll sky one out toward left field. Moving back, and this one's going to go over his head and off the wall. That ball had some serious carry with the wind. 1 run is in. Here comes the 2nd run to the plate. The throw is going to be in time. Patterson is gunned down for out number 2. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think they can go to second base and claim that the base runner at first base, Markham, did not retouch second base because he rounded the bag and then immediately realized, sorry, not Markham, Broughton, I should say, Markham's at second base, that Markham wasn't going to advance, and then he hustled back to first.
You might have a situation where we had a runner pass the runner ahead of him, and you've got 1 run in. That ball was absolutely hit on the screws, carried off the wall. Broughton, again, very aggressive hitter. Interesting situation. 1 run scores, another one out at the plate off a ball off the wall at first and second.
That would be a questionable base running. Or questionable read, I guess. This is ground over to second base. That'll do it. Boy, a lot of traffic on the bases, and they only get 1 run out of it. 6 complete here in Frisco, and it's 5-1. Team Navy's on top.
Team, your overall thoughts on the biggest things that you're kind of trying to impart to these kids and kind of what level they're at in terms of hitting?
Well, they're beyond their years, but there's a lot of small little adjustments that they make where others have to make a lot more, not within this program but outside it. And it's just easier to work with these guys because they soak everything in, they pay attention, they make eye contact, and it's refreshing to have that type of attention.
They're certainly eager to learn. I know I saw you guys out here early in the batting cages this morning. Now with Program 15, you sort of joined forces with this tight-knit baseball community with a couple of your former teammates. What has it been like to be a part of Program 15 and guys you know that are friends for life?
They've got a good thing going here, and it's a pleasure to be a part of it. Just playing with Jeremy and Norris, it's good to be back. It's almost like family. Because we know each other at such a young age, and I'm happy to be here.
Well, we're happy to have you here, and thanks for the time. And we know certainly like a utility infielder, we had a squeaky fence door over here, and you put the WD-40 to it and got that problem fixed for everybody. I know a lot of people around here say thank you.
Yeah, it's like a start of a bad war movie with that
got the Pumpkins and Fright Night coming here to Rough Riders Field as well. But thanks again for your time. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Victor, back to you.
Thanks, Jill. We appreciate it. Thanks for fixing the squeaky wheel that's down there by the dugout. Ballpark turns 20 next year.
It's an outstanding setting. Looks absolutely beautiful. It's amazing this place is 20 years old.
It's still standing, and seen a lot of good baseball here over the years. Good pitcher on as we start the 7th inning. Vinny Hudson is done for Team Navy. He's going 3 innings, no runs, 3 hits. He struck out 5, walking 1. Pretty good performance by Hudson.
Vinny Hudson showing why, both on offensively, defensively, and as a pitching prospect, why he will also advance to the main event next week as an underclassman.
Zach Gingrich is on the mound now. Gingrich, a junior from San Antonio. Saw him swing the bat. Batting in the leadoff spot today. Originally out in center field.
Very impressed with Zach Gingrich's makeup and want to and compete to get here. Did what he had to do with his high school football team, played a good game Friday night, was surprised with needing to stay back for film, stayed back, communicated, got here as fast as he could, ready to go on Sunday.
Bryson Smith, the center fielder, to lead things off, 0 for 2. Final game of a 3-game event here at Frisco, the Underclass Elite. Main event next week at Fenway Park. Ball of the strike on Smith. Then you've got the fresh 50 in Tucson. Those are freshmen, I'm assuming.
That's going to be fun as well.
First time event?
First time event.
1-2 count.
Following the fresh 50, we have the Caribbean Classic, which will go hand in hand with the World Combine. So you have players from quite a few Caribbean countries, along with the U.S. team playing in a 3-game series or 4-game series for, call it.
Towards second, Patterson has it go off the tip of his glove, and Smith will reach on the error.
Call it bragging rights.
Bragging rights?
Down the Caribbean Classic. We might do a championship WWF style belt. We may do a little bit of a trophy, but it's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of prospects on the field.
Got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, can't wait. Santo Domingo is going to be, it's pretty nice this time of year.
That's what I hear. Never been this time of year. I've been down there the month of December for winter ball. Smith with a big lead over at first base. Derek Layton takes a strike.
DJ Layton is starting to get very highly recruited. Has some visits lined up. Continues to grow a day at a time. One of those players that starting to see the growth at the right time. 16, 17 years old. Progressing into who he's going to be. You know, we forget these kids have so far to go before they get their man strength and full body control. You know, Jose Silva talked earlier about how he was 21 years old.
Smith takes off. The throw goes into center field. Stole the base. That's got to be the tough part, the most frustrating part for young athletes that have the skills, but yet everyone around them seems to be growing at a much different, quicker pace than you are as an individual. You're wanting it to happen, willing it to happen, but nature's got to take its course sometime.
Yeah, the physical maturity needs to happen at the right time to develop into having man strength that's playable at such a high athletic level, no matter what the sport is. If you mature too early, you're maxed out, there's nowhere for you to go, and then when the game speeds up, you can't keep up with it. Derek Layton, DJ Layton, is somebody who will continue to evolve. Jose Silva before the stolen base. Jose Silva was in the big leagues at 21 years old and still didn't have an idea what his body was doing, right? So it's going to happen at different times. DJ Layton is entering that phase right now.
Full count on Layton. Walked him. So the walk bug has come out all of a sudden late in the game.
It's kind of like that. What was it, 2 outs? And
2 out, 2-0. Yeah. Nathan Carrillo, first plate appearance for him.
Number 18, Nathan Carrillo.
Carrillo out of Phoenix, junior as well, out of Horizon High School. Catcher and a pitcher. Uncommitted right now.
Carrillo's been interesting the last couple of years. We've had him to figure out which way he's going to be. We talked yesterday about him on the mound. I still ultimately believe that's where it's going to be. But he's an athletic kid who, can help in school, certainly, as a hitter as well as a pitcher. If he has a pro future ahead of him, I do believe pitching is going to pass the him.
5-1 Navy, top of the 7th inning. 2 on for Team White. Nobody out. Smith reached on an error. Layton over at first base. Drew the walk. That's a nice run in on the hands.
Riding life, absolutely. It's tough to get the barrel of the ball like that. It starts late in ball flight, just in front of the plate. 6 inches of late run onto your hands. It's a tough one to do anything with.
Down goes Carrillo for the first out. Good fastball upstairs.
Good job by Zach Gingrich elevating the fastball, pitching on both sides of the plate, putting away Nathan Carrillo with a high spin four-seamer at the top of the zone.
Brett Fuchs comes to the plate now. First PA for him. 2 on, 1 out. Runners take off. The pitch upstairs. A little frustrated for Holly. He had a pretty decent pitch to throw down on.
Yeah, he's a little bit unaccustomed to not being able to throw guys out. He's having a little bit of a struggle with some of the jumps and some of his footwork, and a little bit of a frustrating day for Jack.
Infield back for Navy. 1-0 in tight. 2 balls, no strikes. Two from Gingrich. 3-0. Jake Downing on deck.
White team just about has the time to learn at the plate. A chance to get back into this game.
And a walk, so they're loaded up.
Like a pretty good pitch.
I thought so as well.
First look, the pitching is so much about being around the plate. If you miss, and you're missing consistently, umpires have a tendency to get locked in on being predetermined that you miss. That's human nature thing. You have to reestablish yourself in the strike zone to go ahead and get those type of calls. Now you've got some trouble.
White's down by 4 runs. Downing walked to lead off the 6th inning. First plate appearance. This is his second. Good off speed pitch.
Never fails to surprise you. You can make a pitch out of the zone. It's nowhere close to this age and turn around and throw something pretty nasty just like that. It dives out of the zone last minute.
Got a little help on that pitch. And it's an 0-2 count. Top of the 7th. This one lifted out toward left center field. So a little trouble out there finding the baseball. The catch will be made. The throw goes to third, and the call at third is safe. Run will score. It's 5-2 Navy. Sac fly.
Turns out to be a pretty good read. First of all, pretty good at bat by Jake Downey getting the ball. He can elevate productive outs and a run scoring, but very, very risky read at second base. Turns out to work out with the ball just to his left, is still coming in, and give him a chance to time, being behind the ball to throw for Shea Broughton, who's been very good in left field the last couple of days. That's too close of a play for me, but it worked out.
So 2 outs, runners at the corners. Adrian Jimenez at the plate. Taking off to second base and throws on the shortstop side, so another stolen base.
Zach Gingrich very slow to the plate. Jack Hawley not much of a chance to throw anybody out. Zach goes forward, a two-weight guy as well as a two-sport guy playing football. Something he's going to have to work on the mound. Just being a little bit quicker to the plate, varying his looks. Not uncommon.
Jimenez saw 1 pitch in the 6th inning, his first at bat, and he popped out.
Jimenez, the tying run at the plate, had good at bats all weekend, known to be able to swing the bat. 2 runners in scoring position. Fastball hunter.
1-1. And that is line to left field. Is that going to hang up? It does. Third out is recorded. Team White gets a run. It's stretch time here at Riders Field. Davies on top. Continue to lead this one by the score of 5-2.
All right, back here in the booth with Victor Rojas and Jeremy Booth. And guys, this has just been such a fun weekend and tournament. I mean, I really enjoyed interviewing so many of these kids and their parents and executives with Program 15. And, you know, I've really been impressed having interviewed professional athletes and college athletes at the level that these high school kids are. I mean, these are just teenagers, and you can tell it. Just talking to Andrew Johnson, for example, he was asking me about his, you know, sunglasses. I should take these off, right, so I can make eye contact, things like that. So it's just been a pleasure to working with all these kids, and I know you guys get to work with them a lot as well. So been a fun weekend for sure.
It's very gratifying. This is such a great group of young men to come out and compete, character first, ambassadors of the game, future stars really of the game. You know, it's an honor to be able to be associated with them and their families. From our team here, which you are now part of our team, and
thank you.
And the excellence that you brought to the event. You know, could not do any of this without any one of the members here. First class the entire way. They really care. They pour their hearts and souls into everything, and try to create such a family environment internally.
Well, the kids have been unbelievable to watch, and including taking a pitch off the dome by Josiah Romeo, and not even flinching. I don't think he wanted to go to first base. That's the beauty of that one. He wore it and wanted to stay. It's like, this might be my last at bat, man. Can I just stick around?
Reminiscent of Albert Bell back in the day when he got hit in Baltimore. He said, "No, I'm not going. I'm staying right here."
And then Victor, of course, doing some media training. You and I were able to chat with these kids, and I'm just really interested in how eager they were, and they understand the power of social media and their brand and NIL, and really, again, for such a young age. I know you have a son who's going through it, a teenager playing baseball, that you know, that they have the foresight to think about this part of their career.
They don't have a choice, to be honest with you. I mean, it's kind of it's embedded in their DNA now at such an early age, especially from a baseball and, you know, the big four sports, that there's opportunities out there that present themselves, and I think they're starting to take advantage of it. I think they're starting to understand it. They've all grown up in the social media environment, so they understand the dynamics of what it is to promote themselves and be able to get out there. And, you know, when you go to events like this and around recruiters and coaches and stuff like that, they get a better understanding of, you know, how do I represent myself? Really, you're your own best salesperson, right? Your skills say one thing, but then you got to be able to communicate. You got to be able to convey your message and your story to those around you. And if you're not able to do that at an early age, in today's recruiting world, you're kind of behind the curve.
Yeah, you can't be afraid of the lights. You know, if you really want to do this at a high level, whether it's college sports or whether it's professional sports, the lights can't bother you. You know, Major League Stadium, minor league stadium, college. When you go to LSU, when you play at LSU, you got 10,000 fans night in and night out. You know, if anybody's paying attention to Texas A&M right now, what their football stadium's doing, or USC, you got 100,000 people in one spot, and millions more watching in these fan bases and as part of sports. So you can't be afraid of the lights. You can't be afraid to talk about who you are, and do that with some confidence and some humility. That media training you guys provided was excellent. It gave them a chance to understand what that might be like and how to carry themselves in the interviews. I do have a request. Can you guys give media training to some of our field staff? Because some of those were a little sketchy. I gave Stephen Babyback Randolph a little bit of a hard time with that. And yeah, no, it's been exceptional watching that level, and you absolutely have to be able to talk about yourself in the appropriate way.
Well, thank you guys. It's been a pleasure to be a part of it from down on the field. I appreciate being part of this family here, and I kind of like sitting up here in the AC with you guys.
It's not bad, right? Windows open, we get the AC from the hallway. It's you just gotta work smarter, not harder, Jill. You know, that's at the end of the day is what you got to do.
Thanks, guys.
You got it. Jill Painter-Lopez all weekend long here. The New Balance Future Stars Series Underclass Elite. Wesley Johnston is the new pitcher for Team White, with Navy up by the score of 5-2 here in the bottom of the seventh. Romeo over first, takes off. Foul tipped into the mid. The throw a little bit high. Another stolen base.
See, that's a miss for me with Nathan Carrillo. He had a chance. Johnson gave him a ball to throw on. He was quick to the plate. Got a base stealer over there. Romeo has shown no fear taking off to get the extra base while he's been here. Carrillo got to his feet well, a little bit slow on the transfer, almost like he thought about it too much. You can't miss that guy with that type of chance to throw. He's got another shot. Romeo might take third base, and Carrillo, I always say miss him at second. You can't miss him at third.
Holly comes up empty on that swing. Jack's 0 for 1. He struck out in the 5th. Two now. Holly fouls this one back. Navy scoring 3 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 6th inning. Although they've had opportunities to score more. Plenty of base runners, 3 in the 2nd, 3 in the 5th, and 2 in the 6th. Still maintain that 5-2 lead. Team Weiss had some opportunities. Questionable base running in the 7th, maybe ran themselves out of an innings. That breaking ball's outside. Team White only scored once in the top of this inning.
Body language on Jack Holly says he needs a hit here. Hard hit ball somewhere. Something to kind of reset that mind mentally.
Pulled foul.
All right. All right. It's progress.
That term you just mentioned, body language. Such a key term for these young men to fully grasp and understand, especially from a scouting perspective. Goes down swinging here for round number 2. It's okay to be upset, but you don't want to seem or appear defeated at any point.
There's too much adversity in this game, too much failure. And we talk about, we try to talk about the positivity, and we talk about successes, and man, we all have a lot of fun at the ballpark. But so much of this game, for the best he ever played, it's overused, but forgotten at the same time. He fails 70% of the time if you're one of the best ever. You have to be able to use those moments of adversity to find success, right? To channel that focus and to turn that back around and learn from each individual pitch you play regardless of the outcome, so that the results are better in the future.
Chopper to the right side. Nice play by Hart. Beats Johnston for the 3rd out. 7 complete here in Frisco. The New Balance Future Stars Series Underclass Elite. Team Navy remains on top by the score of 5-2. Justin Hart set the lead things off here for Team White in the top of the 8th inning. 5-2 Navy. Victor Rojas along with Jeremy Booth and Jill Painter-Lopez. Glad you've joined us this weekend. Our pleasure to bring you the Underclass Elite event put on by the New Balance Future Stars Series. First pitch breaking ball in for a strike. Hart 2 for 3 with a couple of singles. Lines this one out to center field. That is a tough play for a center fielder. One down.
Good job staying behind the ball and reading that spin. Right-hand hitters have a tendency to have that ball spin back towards the right center field gap. Left-hand hitters obviously towards the left field line. It's a pretty good job staying behind, reading that spin, making it easy. Taylor Tatum is, like we said earlier when he was at the plate, Brian Jordan clone. Highly recruited football player, athlete, all the ceiling in the world if he chooses baseball.
Shamar McDuffie takes way outside. Struck out looking at his first at bat. Second inning of work for Gingrich. Thought that was a pretty good pitch. 2-0.
The umpires are competing back there as well. They're doing a good job.
Yep.
Sometimes, they see things a little bit different. That's a gutsy call by Gingrich and Holly. Fastball down and away they don't get. Breaking ball down and away, same spot, they get it.
Three balls and a strike. David Stanley on deck. That's in there. Full boat. Future Star Series heads to Boston next weekend, Fenway Park. Same schedule, 2 games on Saturday, 1 on Sunday, or
that's a little bit different. Yeah, a little different. The Red Sox Fenway group had an audible for us that was unplanned. We were expecting Saturday and Sunday to work out Fridays, just like this. Saturday, 1 or 2 games, and Sunday would be the other. Red Sox had to pull a little bit audible, out of their control. And so Saturday, we play Friday night at Dunkin' Donuts ballpark, AA Park at Hartford Yard Goats and Colorado Rockets. And then Saturday, a doubleheader at Fenway Park.
Nice.
And then Vic, Sunday I will be in the mountains.
You'll be in the mountains?
Yeah, I'll be me.
He gone. Then you got a couple of weeks before Tucson, right?
A couple weeks before Tucson. Obviously, the Astros have the postseason beginning.
Kyle Tipton in the mid to throw down to second base on the shortstop side. Another stolen base. Pretty good throw by Holly, though.
Yeah, kind of a negative step of Jack Holly on a fastball up, trying to clear up and in, tries to clear. Keeps good direction, though. Shows the arm strength, just missed on the other side. Much better transfer, much better footwork.
Stanley at the plate, 1 for 3. Got a man in scoring position now. White's down by 3 runs. It's 5-2 Navy.
Good job by Jack right there. This game is by no means out of reach and over.
No.
Good part of the lineup up for the white team. Bryson Smith has had good at bats for the last 3 games. David Stanley is the best hitter in Canada for me.
See by the reaction there. Had a pitch to drive, do some damage too.
Oh boy. Never a good time when you miss those.
No. 1-2. A little bit low, I guess.
Might get another look at this on the replay. Zach Gingrich executing a pitch. Stanley right on here. Stanley right on that breaking ball.
McDuffie, the base runner at second base. It's blocked by Hawley. What's the weather supposed to be like in the Northeast? All right.
Hoodies.
Hoodies? Really? Already?
57 to 62.
Really?
I'm okay with that for right now.
Yeah, it's not bad.
A little break.
For some reason I thought it'd be still a little bit warmer in the 70s or something. 3-2. Chops the foul.
It's always nice to get a little bit of respite from the 172-degree Houston humidity.
Yeah, I hear you. Bryson Smith on deck. This was looped, fouled, and out of play. Decent prolonged at bat here. Stanley going up against Gingrich. Try it again. Ground ball toward the hole. Long play, and it goes off the glove and trickles out into shallow left. I don't know that Oliveira, if he comes up with it, has a play at first base. So first and second, it's an infield base hit, 1 out for Smith.
Stanley getting down the line. Oliveira makes a pretty good play just to get this ball and somewhat corral it. Goes out to short left. Keeps McDuffie at second base from advancing. The ball gets through, you have a chance to be a run. Shea Broughton playing a very deep left field, unafraid of his coverage and range.
In and out of the glove of Hawley. 1-0. Bryson reached on an error in the second inning, struck out was in the fourth, reached on an error in the seventh. 0 for 2. Did have a couple of stolen bases though and scored a run in that seventh inning. 2 balls, no strikes. Frustration from Gingrich there as he kicks that back leg after missing with the breaking ball. Maybe has some action going in there. It's bullpen.
Opportunity here for Bryson Smith. First and second, time run at the plate. Big pitch for Gingrich.
Gets the call. Cale Risch is the one that is loosening now for Navy. Little looper off the end of the bat, and that is going to fall in for a base hit. McDuffie will come around to score. Stopping at second is Stanley. And it's 5-3.
Kind of a defensive swing by Jones, staying with the fastball running away from him. Keeps it fair. Productive. Grass scores a run. Keeps the line moving. Now the go-ahead run at the plate. And DJ late.
Colin Jones is pinch running for Stanley at first base, or pardon me, at second base. Bryson Smith at first. And here's Derek Layton. Layton with a walk in his only plate appearance 5-3, a 2-run lead for Navy. I said both teams have had opportunities to score more runs, that just haven't been able to capitalize. Gingrich might be on his last tank of gas here, last gallon of gas.
It's probably getting close to the end for Mr. Gingrich. A lot of pitches coming inside of football. Probably winding down here, trying to just get through the end and keep his team in the ballgame with the lead.
Jones takes off and Hawley drops the ball. So second and third now. Tying run at second base. Good hitters count for Layton at 2-1.
DJ Layton's going to be tasked here with just playing the game, as both clubs have done so well last entire series. Middle of the field, look for something out over the plate. Playing the big part of the diamond, pick up a run, keep the line moving once again.
Drops the breaking ball in.
That's a pitch. As DJ gets older, he'll learn how to hit. 2-1 curveball, thrown for a strike. Not the nasty one, not the one that's going to put away, but the one you can lift a little bit and drive and hit for extra bases once you've seen it enough.
And he got him to chase. Ball's in the dirt. Holly's got to throw down to complete the strikeout, and missed by Kirksey. The run will score. It's 5-4. And still just one out.
Jack Holly with a pretty good play behind the plate and delivers tough block, centers it perfectly, traditional stance right back in front of him, and delivers an absolute missile thrown purely out of frustration to Marcus Kirksey, obviously. But it's a good throw nonetheless. Kirksey takes a peek back towards the diamond, checks the runner, takes his eyes off the ball. Everybody's safe.
2 runs in, 1 out, runners at the corners. You know that Layton's going to be going. Infield is in, too. Almost as if they're conceding the stolen base. Foul back. Nathan Carrillo swinging at the first pitch. No balls and a strike. Carrillo's 0 for 1 with a strikeout.
It's an interesting play with the infield drawn in. Middle maybe halfway, I can see. Drawn in's a little risky. Carrillo is a catcher, runs just okay. And Layton can run and give him a chance to steal, and he will.
I'm not sure what Layton's waiting for with 1 out.
Looks like he's almost keying off Patterson, who's kind of standing just inside the baseline. Maybe he feels like that's going to get in his way and he can get back to the bag. That's a pretty tough play for the middle infield. Turn your back and have to go back to fill the throw.
Layton takes off and he'll pick up the stolen base. And I would have done that first pitch.
Absolutely.
Tying run at third, go ahead run at second base. 5-4 Navy, top of the 8th. Infield in. Gingrich is ready in the 2-2. That's out to left center field, and that is going to be caught in left. The throw goes to second, and they get the double play. What a play in left field by Broughton.
Someone on that Navy team is living right. I want to find out who it is, because that was a pretty tough play. Pretty good pitch, hard hit ball. Broughton has had an excellent couple of days. Comes in, makes the play, doubles off late in second.
We head to the bottom of the 8th. Navy still up 5-4. Bottom of the 8th inning, 5-4. Navy leads it. Wesley Johnston out for Team White. Second inning of work for him. Taylor Tatum leading things off. Second plate appearance for Tatum. Struck out in the 6th. This one looped on the first base side. Hart moving over near the tarp area. Kind of misjudged it. What should have been an out goes off his glove and into the stands. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Wes Johnson.
Wes Johnson has a pretty unique arm action. You may remember a guy years ago named Keith Folk, a little bit of an up and out. You know, he executes, not so much of a command guy as a control guy. Velocity is still on the come, more of a strength-based type of velocity, but effective nonetheless. And again, much like his teammate Chris Melvin, his summer teammate Chris Melvin moves the ball all over the place.
2-1 count on Tatum. Full count.
It'd be fun to see Taylor Tatum get a pitch he can drive and handle it. He is a physical specimen. Two-sport athlete. Just the athleticism that he has is impressive every time you see him.
And that's a leadoff walk. Man on now for Patterson. Patterson walked himself in the 6th inning. Nine walks since the 6th inning combined. We were in a stretch at one point. There was 1 walk for each team.
This feels like a distant lifetime ago.
Yep. Snap throw to first base. Back in there safely is Tatum.
Carrillo saw Tatum flinch. He was looking to run. Had that little bit of a, man, I got to go in him. Didn't get a chance or a read on Johnson's timing, but Carrillo saw it.
Two balls, no strikes on Patterson. Fouls it off.
Momentum is swung last inning to the White Club. Even with a great play out there with Shea Broughton, this game's a lot closer than maybe you would have thought a couple of innings ago. Maybe he needs to pad that lead, win the inning, add a run.
Tatum takes off. Pitch down low. The throw down. Not in time. Tatum easily with a stolen base.
There was no chance at that. Just see the way he turned up that ground? It's what's called a power runner. First step, never look back. You're going to look at it right here. Boy, is he tearing up the ground. Similar to a young, dare I say it, Richard Henderson. Pretty good.
Yeah. Heck yeah. 3-1. Fouled off, full count.
Our social media guy, Chase Denton, he's going to love you, Vic.
Yeah?
Heck yeah, it's kind of his thing.
Heck yeah?
Heck yeah. It's a Chase Denton patented call. Heck yeah. That and going ham, whatever that is.
Going ham?
Going ham. He's going to go ham.
Is going ham mean going deep?
Don't know.
Don't know? You still haven't figured it out?
I've had to ask.
Patterson swings at a pitch. It's off his chest if he doesn't.
First time he says, hey, I'm going to go ham, I'm like, what are you doing?
Going ham. I like it, though. It's unique.
It is. He's a unique person. Fits. Millions and millions of views for these players. Takes it personal.
Nobody out here, the bottom of the 8th. Another payoff. Patterson chops this one to short. 2 big hops, a little bobble, throw to first, and out of time, an error.
A little bit of lapse in concentration there again, peaking with the runner, ground ball to short. Pretty easy hop, to be honest with you. Picks up speed, plays back on his heels instead of coming to get it. Gets caught in between, starts peeking for the runner, leads to the drop. Safe.
So Trey Markham steps in. He walked in the 6th inning. He's got a couple of men on. Shoots this one over to Hart. A little bit of a bobble. Is only placed to first. 1 down. Runners advance 90 feet.
Another hard hit ball by Trey Markham. That's pretty good play by Justin Hart. That ball's got some side spin running away from him. They would corral it, get the out. Yeah. It's a tough play.
Yep. He definitely went ham on that one.
Yes, he did. He was a beast. It's another one.
Shea Broughton takes that pitch outside. Broughton hit the RBI single with the bases loaded off the wall and left.
That's a new one. That still would be a new one for me, Vic. RBI single, bases loaded off the wall.
And got a base runner thrown out at the plate. But he turned the situation around defensively last half inning with the diving play and then forced out at second. So he's done it all.
It's a good couple of days. You know, they say every day it's supposed to be that one new thing, right? You learn one new thing, you see one new thing. Today, Shea Broughton's at bat off the wall. That was that new thing.
Yeah, especially in baseball.
Yeah.
Just when you think you've seen it all. Stand by. 2-1. This one slicing toward the seats and out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Like what he's doing there, though. You got runner second, third, infield's in. He pitch you away, and he's just trying to slap it the other way. Even if it's lofted in the air, he'll take his chances on a sac fly.
So much of what he's done just today, yesterday, playing the outfield at the plate, shows the instincts he has to play the game of baseball, to make the tools that he has in his skills. A little bit of Jason Michaels to him.
Full count. That is drilled out to left center field. That's going to bring home 2 easily. Broughton's on his way to second base, 2 RBI double. And Navy gets those 2 runs right back. It's 7-4. 3 RBI game for Broughton.
Well, that had a good sound to it. Getting a look right here. Fastball, inner third, running on the hands. Broughton stays inside the ball well. Shopping in the gap. Picks up the runs. Another productive at bat for Shea Broughton, who has just turned in 3 very good games, defensively, offensively, and on the base pass.
Kirksey had a nice game himself. He hit one off the wall and right earlier in this game.
I thought he was going to knock the wall down. He drilled that ball.
Trying to send that ball into the lazy river. Released off the fountains. 1-1. 2 balls and a strike.
Before the day is over, I'm going to get out to that lazy river. I'm not sure how just yet. Just
Get down to the concourse, make a right. Just pretend you made an out. Just keep going. Two at two. We're starting to see the finish line, the end. As far as the energy, you can just see the guys starting to wind it down a little bit. Happens. Jam-packed 3 days. Good pitch.
It's a tough breaking ball right there. It's
Two
tough
down
pitch to handle.
Yep. Here's Romeo. 7-4 Navy. Bottom of the 8th. Get it out of the glove, and Brian will take third base. Two balls and no strikes. That is pulled to the left side, an RBI single for Romeo. 8-4 Navy.
Another hard hit ball for Josiah Romeo. Using the whole field. It's been really impressive to watch that again and again and again from collection of hitters on both sides of the plate. Romeo gets a fastball from Johnston right in the middle. Again, we talked about Johnston not being a command guy, tough to command from that arm slot and the release point. Romeo doesn't miss him.
Oliveira takes a strike. No balls, 2 strikes now. Wonderful afternoon for baseball here in Frisco, Texas. Warm one. This is shot down the right field line. That is a base hit. Romeo, for whatever reason, decided to stop and peek to see where that ball was at as he was rounding second.
Yeah, some of the base running has been a little questionable. You know, the ball's behind you. There's Chris McFarland down there talking to him about it right now. Ball's behind you. Right fielder has to go to his glove side to the line. No chance to throw you out at third base. Head down, run all the way through until they stop you. Another positive approach to Christian Oliveira. I'll tell you what, Vic, the approach we've seen, middle of the field and using both sides, as well as being able to open up for power out of both these clubs, I put up against any group of 40 players in the country in this travel ball circuit of age group. It doesn't happen often, as we've talked about. We've talked about convincing these guys not to swing as hard as they can and try to drive these guys are hitting the ball plenty hard, in fact harder, by using the middle of the field and being productive. This has been a very fun offensive game for
firewood, some lumber. Down goes the Marucci bat. Good thing you got a couple of them. Team Navy scores 3 here in the 8th inning. We're headed to the 9th. Navy's in command, 8-4.
He is joining us, obviously from Toronto, having a great weekend here, hit a ball off the wall today. What's the experience been like?
It's just been an honor to invite it to an event like this, you know. Got to make the most of every pitch you get and every play you can get, just because you never know who's watching, you know.
Never know who is watching, indeed. And something I read about you that I thought was pretty cool is your love of podcasts, and you have a certain ear for particular ones involving music. What do you like about music podcasts?
I like to hear about different perspectives on people's musics, because I like listening to many different types of music, and I like hearing what people have to say about them, because then like it broadens your perspective on anybody or on everybody who you hear, really.
All right, and I asked all of you guys at once if anybody had a podcast, and nobody raised their hands. So since you listen to a lot of podcasts, you know what you like, so I'm counting on you maybe to have one soon, and I'll subscribe.
I did make one for a school project, but like I don't really have a podcast like that.
Okay, well, maybe in your future for sure. We'll let you get out there to first base. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
All right, Victor, back to you.
Thanks a lot, Jill. We appreciate it. Marcus Kirksey has had a terrific game.
Yeah, he's hit some balls hard, and we talked about almost knocking that wall down in right field. But what he's really done, what's been impressive, is had progressively better at bats. He's had stayed in the middle of the field. He's had base hits. He's used the other side. He's hit to the situation. Again, this is a player a year ago that had a very difficult time making consistent contact. The work he's done with the Mississauga Tigers, Sean Travers and Greg Byron and the crew up there north of the border in Toronto has really paid off as he's arrived now and going into the next phase of his recruitment and potentially professional career.
Cale Risch takes over on the mound to start the ninth inning with Navy up by the score of 8-4. Brett Fuchs leading things off. No balls and a strike. Risch Jr. out of Winter Garden, Florida. Montverde Academy. That's for the East Coast Sox. Pretty good pitch for ball one. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fuchs walked and stole a base in the 7th. No official AB for him.
Rice tasked with just keeping the lead right here. Another two-way guy. Still very prevalent in this age group. Have those guys can do that. Rice, excuse me.
Downing is on deck. Jimenez to follow. Those are the 3 for Team White here in the 9th inning. Still a 2 ball, 2 strike count. Looks like David Hogg is warming up. Might pitch the bottom of the 9th. Down goes Fuchs, 1 away. Even though Navy is leading, if they get the 3 outs here, they picked up the win and the series, but we will get 3 more outs.
I've never seen David Hogg pitch. I'll just get that out there now. I'd be pretty surprised if he does.
Well, he's in the bullpen warming up.
Sure is.
He's that guy. He talked his manager into letting him pitch.
First base, left field, wide receiver, a couple of touchdowns. He's a great kid. Anything he can do, he wants to do. And we have confirmation David Hogg is going to throw the 9th. Wes Johnson is at 51 pitches. And so out of abundance of caution for Mr. Johnson, the staff has decided to cut him short of extending another inning.
I like it. It's an executive decision.
Made by the executive, Gordon Blakely.
3 balls, no strikes on Downing.
You know, watching down that bullpen, looks like it's coming out pretty good from Mr. Hall.
Four-pitch walk puts a man on with 1 out here in the 9th. Adrian Jimenez comes to the plate. Popped down in the 6th inning.
Number 8, Adrian Jimenez.
This will allow Downing to take second base.
Tough pitch for Holly to block. That ball was pretty wide, just almost the other side of the left-hand hitter's batter's box. White fighting for bases, fighting for inches.
Down by 4 here in the 9th. In the dirt. He'll take third.
That's just good base running by Downing. That ball was, as soon as he saw a ball down in the dirt, if you will, Holly dropped his knees to block it. He was gone. Not much Jack could do with that.
I think it's something that really needs to be played up more so at the high school level. Is the secondary lead and reads. I mean, they're gifts. They are gifts. Those 90 feet, man. And there for strike 2-1.
It's amazing how little that's being taught today. You know, the game is played in segments of 90 feet. And every 90 feet moves you closer to a run. The person who has the most runs wins.
Right.
So
that's still the case, right? This one shot toward the middle. And under the glove, Olivero. That'll bring home a run. It's 8-5 now.
That's a big heck yeah for the White. Get back in, as Chase Denton would say. Jake Downing going ham. Taking that extra base.
Just ham. It didn't go ham. Wasn't going ham. Just ham.
He's a beast.
1 out, 1 on. Justin Hart, the first baseman, pops this one shallow right field. Turner coming on. 2 down.
You know, going back to David Hogg and that guy that talked his coach in when he found out Wes Johnson hit his pitch limit, he said, I want to pitch. Let me pitch. Get me back in the game.
Looking forward to watching him. Throwing breaking balls down there.
It's not bad.
Hunter takes off. This one fouled off. Duffy getting jammed on that pitch in. Took Jimenez a little while to get back to first base. Doesn't go this time. That's in the dirt. This one toward the middle and a base hit. Patterson laying out, unable to come up with it. So down by 3, the tying run will come to the plate now.
Good things happen. You stay in the middle of the diamond. I can't say enough about it for all the hitters out there that are watching and listening and playing in their own games. Being able to stay in the middle and use the whole field is the key to being a successful hitter.
One ball, no strikes on David Stanley. He's been in the game the entire time. 2 for 4, couple of singles, 2 stolen bases, 2 runs scored. Ground ball to short. We'll head to the bottom of the ninth inning. Navy picks up the victory by the final of 8-5, but we've got 3 more outs to go, and I'm looking forward to watching David Hogg, 2-sport star, coming on to pitch the bottom of the ninth.
Some good music for David Hogg entering the game.
Bottom of the ninth here at Riders Field in Frisco, Texas, wrapping up the Future Stars Series Underclass Elite. David Hogg pitched the bottom of the ninth. Navy up 8-5. Navy kind of disinterested. They're out in front of their dugout. They've celebrated. They're happy they won. That's it. Oh, Hogg's pitching. Who cares? Irrelevant.
Well, let's find out. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
1 ball, no strikes. Pardon me, 0-1. Merkel Turner. 0 for 4 today.
Turner's got that look on his face like, I need a knock.
2 balls and no strikes. David glancing back at the rubber and the landing area. Three balls and 1 strike. And a leadoff walk. Taylor Tatum now up. 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a walk. Cambio?
Yeah, I don't know what that was, but Tatum should have thought it looked pretty good.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good hack. Those two guys know each other very well, being both from the Metroplex. Well, I guess Taylor's from Longview, spends a lot of time in the Metroplex, but they know each other very well from the football and baseball circuit.
Chopper to the right side. Are we going to get our first traditional double play?
Oh, my goodness.
Got him.
Oh, my goodness.
First of the 3-game series. It can be done.
It's actually pretty well turned.
Yes, sir.
27 innings later, we get a 4.63. Tatum shows some strength here. Remember, he's just feeling his way out of football. Ball's away, flips the wrist out there, but gets the barrel to it. Exciting play all the way around. Fundamentally sound.
Chris Patterson at the plate, 2 outs. Patterson, see if he's in the mood to end the weekend.
Different color bat.
Every at bat, pretty much. Looking forward to watching him this year, this fall. Plays at Prestonwood Christian with my son. Two balls and no strikes. Trey Markham on deck. That's out toward left center field, hit pretty well. That's got a chance to go for extra bases, and it will. Patterson is going to try to go to third. Relay, a little bit of a bobble, and it's late.
Patterson said not yet. Gives the Karate Kid crane over the third base dugout to his teammates.
Watching too much Cobra Kai.
All right. Trey Markham, another opportunity.
Grounded out to first, his last plate appearance. Skies this one to center field. That should do it, and it does. 8-5, Navy wins it. They take the 3-game series, and the second annual Future Stars Series Underclass Elite is in the books. And congratulations, Jeremy. I mean, what a terrific event. It came off without a hitch.
Congratulations to the staff. It's another successful event for the group here. I'm very proud to be associated with people that we have. Vic, I want to thank you for the Riders hosting us and Rough Riders hosting us here at Riders Field. It's an honor to have done this with you, broadcasted with you and with Jill Painter-Lopez. Guys added so much to the experience for the people listening at home and for the players on the field. From the bottom of my heart and the New Balance Baseball for Star Series family, thank you.
Oh, it was our pleasure to have it. It's a wonderful event, great kids, great talent. And the road show continues. Future Star Series heads to Boston. Event.
I gotta tell you, man, I'm smiling ear to ear about this one. This is a fun one every year. Last year, we had 5 first-round picks that have participated in that event in the last draft. It's gonna be exciting. You have guys 94, 96 breaking balls that have built properly, right? We have consistent hitting, but you get a taste of that here at the Underclass Elite as far as what we teach, and our guys are able to execute. Every year, there's a couple of guys that pop there that the scouting community kind of knows, kind of doesn't know. They got some picks to click this year. They're going to come out and silence the crowd, if you will, which in scouting is good because as soon as that hush comes out, you know you got something good on the mound or something in the box. I'm excited for those guys to get that opportunity. I'm excited to get to Boston and back into the cathedral that is Fenway Park.
Well, we appreciate it. Thanks for visiting with us here in Frisco. Hopefully we can do this on an annual basis, and we'll see what happens as the future unfolds, correct?
Yes, sir.
That's what the cards are being played. We just play them as we're dealt, right?
Absolutely. It's an exciting time to be here. Anytime you guys will have us back at Riders Field, we will be here. We look forward to doing, I personally look forward to doing more with you, Mrs. Lopez, and the group that has come on board here at this time to make this such an unforgettable experience for everybody. And man, I can't tell you how excited I am for the future, both for this organization today and tomorrow and the people that are here.
Right on. I want to thank our entire crew here at Riders Field for doing a terrific job. Dave Bicknell, the groundskeeper here for the Riders, who did a terrific job of getting this field ready. Jill Painter-Lopez, Jeremy Booth, I'm Victor Ross. We thank you for watching. This has been the New Balance Future Star Series Underclass Elite. Be sure to tune in next week with the main event up at Fenway Park. Thank you for watching, everybody.